It's Spoilerin time, folks. Welcome to the show that is built on the foundation of Cordkillers. Cordkillers tells us what the machines are and what the shows are and where we can get them. Here's where we talk about the shows we've watched. This week, we're going to talk about She-Hulk, Attorney at Law, Episode 2, What We Do in the Shadows, Season 4, Episode 8, and Star Trek Lower Decks, Episode 1 of Season 3. I'm Tom Merritt. He's Brian Brushwood.
Heck yeah. Which one do you want to start with?
I'm going to start with the one I enjoyed the most this week, which was close because they were all good. Star Trek Lower Decks. I absolutely adored this episode from start to finish. I kept seeing it set things up and then use them efficiently. It had funny jokes, lots of little inside baseball things like Ketracel White Hot Sauce, which is a reference to Deep Space Nine's Ketracel White drug that the Dominion people use. And I loved the part where they, at the end, were like, yeah, we know you had fun for the past half hour with these hijinks. Here's what an actual Star Trek episode that took itself seriously would have showed you. But you'd be bored by that, wouldn't you? And the answer is not if you're Bryce.
No, I would not have been bored with that. They made a very compelling argument, once again, that a better show was happening while I was watching this. Brian, what do you think?
I can hear both sides of this one. I must admit, I think it boils down to how into Star Trek backstory and lore you are. If these are familiar waters, then the eye-rolling tropes of, no, we must have this long, laborious trial because the process will win in the end. It's like, yeah, we've seen that episode. And so to have it just sort of summed up, especially with like court reporter drawings, maybe it's because I've been watching She-Hulk, I loved it. I also loved the fact that it didn't hold our hands because there was no indication that this is where we were headed at the end of last season, right?
No. And in fact, I was like, man, if she's on trial, how long are they going to string it out? Turns out not at all. If she's on trial and they're off the ship, what are they going to do? Turns out hang out and try to get back on the ship. Like every little question that I worried about was addressed to me in brilliant fashion.
Also, the Packlids did an inside job on their own planet.
Right? It was a fake video.
And now, one part that I do feel like Bryce truly missed out on the inside joke of, and there's no getting around it. You and I, Tom, I am certain, loved Zephyrin Cochrane showing up, yes. and the theme
and having
part
actual
all
James
about
Cromwell
First Contact.
Do the voice. Yeah,
yes.
Oh, I knew all of that was inside reference stuff. Yuck!
Right down to Magic Carpet Ride being played. So Bryce,
the jukebox only plays one song. It's great.
Wow,
Bryce, cool. You are fully justified.
Absolutely.
Tom,
absolutely.
You are fully justified.
Thank you.
It was both the best episode and the worst episode.
It's not that they didn't go on fun adventures, and it's not like we didn't see a facet of her personality and the way she deals with issues. And also, we've seen that story. I feel like we've seen that side of her, and I'm just not personally a fan of like, oh, we were doing the real fun, exciting legal story over here. You're almost like rubbing it in your face.
Lower Decks is Mariner going off half-cocked and misunderstanding things. And you're right, they've done that story before. I get that. And maybe one of the reasons I enjoyed this so much was because of all of the fluff and padding and Star Trek references, like showing the vineyard and the silhouette. And you're like, oh, I know that's not Picard. I know it's not Picard. Who's it going to be?
And he doesn't
totally
make wine. He makes shriveled up, miserable raisins. And all of the hot women. Come on. You didn't have a little bit of love for all of the hot women asking for him at all times?
And him getting annoyed.
That was a good joke in that scene, yeah.
Yes.
That was a good joke. I mean, the writing that I got, the writing that I understood was great. It was good. Like the writing's... It's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
I felt like the story was tight, but if you're not into the references, there's less story there, even if it is tight, right?
Especially
because it doesn't feel tight because you're packed in all this other stuff.
Yeah, just like because it's the 1-2 punch, right? Of like, we just had this big adventure to get here, and we're just getting ready to do the next. We're going to go and do the thing. We're going to start our next adventure, and all of the wind gets taken out of your sails, and all of the past 20 minutes have been like didn't do anything. They didn't accomplish
one of the
much,
things that for me, I don't think I'm fooling myself when I say this, didn't rely on Star Trek lore for me, was the idea that everything they did was for naught. I love that. I could see where that could annoy you too, but for me, I love this. Like, man,
those alien jellyfish wouldn't have been able to spawn if it weren't for their hard work.
Good point. So maybe not entirely for naught. But you know, I was like, where are they going to go with this? Are they going to have this crew like steal the Cerritos and fly it around? It was like, no, they didn't need to do this at all. And that's so true to these characters, and the fact that they overreact and misunderstand. I don't know. I enjoyed every single minute.
It also gave a suitable wink to what small potatoes the Cerritos is, where it's like they're all like, whoa. Why is this ship not in dry dock? And they're like, I don't know. We wanted to help jellyfish. And they're like, oh, that's fine.
Oh, that makes sense.
I just need a signature. Literally anyone.
and honestly, I mean, you would never have taken this without your captain's approval, of course. That's ridiculous. Who would do that?
What else? They weren't really challenged to get on the ship or to break through the ship that they stole. That was the theme park rocket.
I also loved the guy who was guarding the transporter, who turned, like, they did the double flip of like, oh, it's going to be a big deal. Oh, he's just a kindly old guy, but he's also angry because the only people that ever befriend him
want to bang him over the head and steal his transporting.
Yeah.
Small continuity thing. Hats off to the fact that Cerritos is still naked, doesn't have a hole. There was a brief moment that I was hoping crazy jellyfish mating would create some kind of like
hole.
new...
I wondered about that too. Yeah. Oh God. Oh, also the who was it pulled? Open Bio pointed out they kept doing these little asides where they were like, the Golden Gate Bridge, nobody drives anymore. Why do you keep that thing? Like,
hadn't thought about that.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, why would they have the Golden Gate Bridge? Oh, because it's a monument. Because, why do we keep pyramids? We don't use them anymore. Same kind of thing.
I believe this is the most of Mariner's dad that we've gotten the entire series. And I like the fact that they're not hiding him from us. It's just that now it's, he hasn't been central to the focus. I'm really fascinated by, their relationship and their family dynamic.
Yeah.
They also like the throwaway lines about the like something. My purple hair dye. Has nobody noticed that I have a weird colored hair? It's great.
There were so many acknowledgments of that where you're like, well, that's kind of weird, but I guess I go, oh nope, they acknowledged it. Never mind. Good stuff. Well, any other thoughts on Star Trek Lower Decks?
Bryce, you are correct. If you have not seen all of the Star Trek that Tom and I have seen, this was a very impenetrable, frustrating episode.
It was a tough one.
Tom, you are correct. If you have seen as much Star Trek as you and I have, this was among the very best episodes.
So good.
I wasn't fooled by it. This episode did not fool me. I know what this is. This is a cartoon.
It made me very happy. As a matter of fact, I knew nothing would be different in the 1 minute long intro, but I watched the whole thing anyway, just because I was so excited to get back into the Star Trek.
I always skip it.
Really?
I do.
That's fine.
We'll let you know. We'll let you know.
You let me know if something changes.
Yeah. That is Star Trek Lower Decks, episode 1 of season 3. Let's talk about What We Do in the Shadows, season 4, episode 8, which, if you aren't a fan of Home and Garden Network, might have been lost on Go flip yourself. Not only the title of the episode, but also the show that you get an entire show of within the What We Do in the Shadows universe, including bits of the show that tell you have to forget the show because we're vampires.
Next level. This was some next level commentary on the way those reality shows work. It was some next level callback rewards for it's like you had to remember the hat from season 1 and the guy who wanted the hat, Simon the Devious. Wouldn't hurt if you knew who the Sklar brothers are. I watched it twice. I loved this one so very much.
One of the best parts for me, first of all, I watched this sitting next to someone who has produced actual shows for Home and Garden Network. That was an extra little bit of a treat here. But one of the best things about it was they kill one of the Sklar brothers like within the first 5 minutes of the show?
Right away.
Certainly within the first 20 seconds of him walking in to the house.
They kill one of the Sklar brothers. And I'm like, so what are they going to do? Are they going to bring him back as a zombie? Are they going to revive? No, he's just dead. And he stays dead the whole time. And they just never yep, he's dead. And they just wave it away.
And then like self-referentially, they're like, later in the episode, you will flash back to this. So even the people, and then they start to name off all of the roles that go into unscripted reality programming. And then he was like, oh, what else is there? Like, yes, all of those deep it's amazing.
It probably really didn't advance the story much, but I didn't care at all. One bit. It was just so well done.
They didn't even fix the house.
I know. I was like, oh, so this is how we're going to clean up the house. No, they got a closet. That was it. They got a walk-in closet.
It's not the first batch of wishes. It's not the reality show. It's not the second batch of wishes. When are they going to blow this house up?
If anything, the only thing we saw was a little progression towards Nandor finally reaching the end of his rope with his wife,
or at least beginning to realize that it's like when she makes the man cave and then locks him out
because she wants the man cave. She likes all the stuff.
She wants everything he does.
They wouldn't share it. Oh no!
I guess we got a walk-in closet and a man cave. You're right. We did get two things.
I do adore sycophantic Laszlo, like just full on running out to REI to buy the exact same shirts as Randy Sklar. It's incredible.
But it's the Sklar brothers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then the double whammy, like the depth with they spent maybe 10% of the entire runtime of the episode explaining just how far back the con goes. Yes, and they explain the entire process of having an unscripted reality television show. And then they, yes, I pitched, I developed, I did this, but the brother is like, no, he was a veteran and a proud man, and I educated him because he's got the it factor. It's like, but are you worried about everyone will see this? No, nobody watches this crap. It's going to show up in 2 years. I showed a gaping backside and nobody said anything.
Oh, yes, I saw that one. Yes.
All right. Man, yeah. I guess there might be someone who's never seen one of these shows, but honestly, it only takes one of these types of shows to be able to get this episode. I thought it was genius.
Mm-hmm.
So this might be the best. Now,
really?
Granted, it was tantric because we spent an entire season with the rubber band being pulled taut, and then this was the episode where it's like, oh yeah, you knew this was coming, and here it is. I loved it. It was great.
Yeah. It was a beautiful episode.
The only bit that I skipped over the second time I watched this, now this is the second episode I watched it, was when the hat Nick Kroll's character appears. And they do the bit of introducing like 80 vampires with weird names.
Oh no, I love that.
It was very funny the first time.
Oh yeah.
The second time I was
That
like,
one didn't play as well through a second viewing. All right, I can see that.
Hold on.
That is
No.
good
The
stuff.
freestyle rap about like sneaking into your house when nobody's home so he could get room tone. He's dealing with XLI. Come on. All of those cheesy. No? Okay. Oh
The
my
rapping
God. I
sound
loved
man?
it.
No? Oh, okay. All right.
It would have been good if they were just a few less names. Yeah.
I loved it so much.
That is What We Do in the Shadows, season 4,
And
episode
actual
8.
Elvis.
Yeah.
Returned. Let's talk about She-Hulk, Attorney at Law, season 1, episode 2. Was there enough attorneying for you in this episode, Bryce?
No.
We're
End
still
of-
not in
end of
court.
review.
She got a job. There was less superhero stuff. Was it a case of like no superhero stuff, but not enough attorneying?
Barely even that. I mean, this is a 30-minute show. It was about 20 minutes of actual show. Like very short, even for what this thing is. Like if my frustration with last episode was it was too much superhero and not enough legal, my frustration with this one is that it was neither enough superhero or legal. This felt like the middle of the first act of the movie that this was supposed to be.
It sounds to me like both of you missed the subtlety of her getting fired and
All
the
I did
title
was ask
credits
Bryce
saying,
a question. Why am I lumped into his opinion?
because the title credits do not say She-Hulk Attorney at Law. They say She-Hulk Attorney for Hire because she's been fired.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
And then she gets a job.
Oh, wow. So she doesn't even do any law. She just gets a job. This episode.
Okay, but
She doesn't even do any law. She just gets a job.
I mean, it's
Cool.
I loved the fact that she took the job without waiting for him to explain, which is what someone would do when she's in that position and that desperate. And then had to realize that they were hiring her only for her superhero-ness, which is also a thing that happens where people realize, oh, you only hired me for this reason, not the reason I wanted the job. And the temptation of like, yeah, but look at what you get. You get this amazing office. Look at what you could do with that. Which is, these are not brand new plot points, but they're solid. They're fundamental. And I also thought it was entertaining. I don't know if you paid attention to the asides that the boss was saying on the phone, where it's like, tell him no, but don't tell him no right away. Just let him hold. Like showing that the boss was comically evil.
Yeah, I think in a more right and just universe, I would recuse myself from all discussion of the show.
What?
Because clearly I'm too biased.
What?
This show can do no wrong.
Subject.
The character can do no wrong. Everything is perfect. It's all great. Everything is great. And it's okay that I'm wrong.
No. Oh my
No,
God.
I enjoyed
Because
the
when
episode.
it comes time for me to prove myself right, you know who I'm going to hire? I'll give you a hint.
She-Hulk, Attorney for Hire.
Her name is Jessica.
Lesson from the New York Times.
Oh wow, the gray lady.
Different Jessica? No.
No.
Okay.
Oh.
I liked the episode. I just want to say I probably didn't like it as much as Brian, but I liked the episode. I thought it was a good transitional episode to take us from, okay, this is how she got her powers, and now she's getting her. Now we're setting up the rest of the season. I can see where this could have been a season opener, and where they would be like, yes, this is the episode that sets us up for the plot. The plot is going to be her trying to prove that she's more than just a superhero while also advocating for superheroes. We haven't even talked about the fact that they had that excellent Silence of the Lambs scene where she goes and meets the guy from the Hulk movie, the evil person who actually convinced me and her
the
apparently.
Abomination. I'm so glad to hear you say this because I thought, for what it's worth, I was like, yeah, I mean, the Hulk changed. Why wouldn't
Why
the
couldn't
Abomination
he have changed? Yeah. And everyone deserves a defense, right? That's what Jessica's all about, is practicing the law. Love that. And then I love that they immediately have, end the episode with the Abomination having escaped, just throwing that all under the bus. I also love that she was responsible enough and caring enough to call Bruce and say, hey, it's the Abomination. I have to defend him because I took this dumb job. And they had the fun little, like, she kept cutting him off because she wants to take the job, and he recognizes that and says it to him. And then, of course, I don't know if y'all like this. I thought it was hilarious when he's like, it was a long time ago and I was an entirely different person then. Literally.
My name was Ed Norton back in those days.
And supposedly the line was, I was an entirely different person back then. And Mark Ruffalo ad-libbed the literally part.
Also, the spaceship that he's in is a Sicarian vessel, so he's headed back to not the Collector, his cousin, the
Observer, the Gatherer.
No.
The Greatest Showman.
No, the Bryce. He's Bryce Castillo.
Jeff Goldblum.
Yes.
Isn't that the Collector?
No, that's his cousin.
Antonio
Fire
Collector.
Fox.
No.
Chrome.
Thunderbird.
Somebody help me.
We're trying.
Safari.
The Collector is Benicio del Toro. His cousin is the Grand Master. Yeah, there it is.
Thank you.
Okay.
Insanity Ember.
Yeah.
You're the best.
AKA Bryce.
Opera.
Love that. Thank you, everyone. That's all I got on She-Hulk. I loved it. I thought it was fun. Wasn't as good as the first episode, but I enjoyed it. Bryce hated it. What about you, Brian?
He hates everything. He's Bryce.
Bryce won't like it. He hates everything.
Okay. I'm quickly becoming the Simon Cowell of this triumvirate. I'm not sure.
It's a no from Bryce.
No. Too much superhero.
Watch out.
stuff.
His fingers sparkle.
Bryce feels like it's at one of those restaurants where the waiter gets up and sings.
Oh, happy birthday. Oh.
Bryce
He's just making noises now. They need to
Bryce
stop.
Cowell is my new favorite character ever.
So, important details. We finally have Hulk off the stage. We have Jennifer Walters, I forget. She-Hulk is understanding that she's been put in a unfortunate position of being hired not for who she is, but what categories she ticks off. She has a terrible client. I suspect that where we're headed is she's gonna beat the crap out of Abomination, make him sit down, make him be a good defendant, and actually acquit him. Is that where we're probably headed?
If that's not where we finish, that's certainly where we're headed.
Given that that's the literal game plan that he sets out in this episode, right? I mean, they weren't exactly subtle with like, the government told you to do this? The government gave you all of this? Like, yeah, this is not going to be Columbo. I think that's what they're going to do.
One more thing. Smash.
Columbo Smash. Oh, that would be a big hit right now, Columbo Smash.
Columbo Hulk. All right. That is She-Hulk Attorney at Law, Season 1, Episode 2. We will be on the Labor Day holiday next week. So in 2 weeks, we'll be coming back with 2 Star Trek Lower Decks, 302 and 303, 2 What We Do in the Shadows, 409 and 410, 2 She-Hulks, 103, 104. And because it's returning, we're just going to have a monster-sized spoiler time, I guess. Rick and Morty coming back with episodes 1 and 2 of season 6. That's all coming up in 2 weeks. You will still get these early, though, if you're a patron. So don't forget to sign in and sign up. Patreon.com/Cordkillers. We'll talk to you next time.
Love you.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.